fallen man has explored the earth. Now we explore other planets. Fallen man. Fallen man has conquered weather in many places. We've conquered topography. There were places that were uninhabitable 1,000 years ago that man has found ways to dwell in those places. There were places that were impassable 300 years ago. We now have technologies. Are you there? The time that it took to move from one place to the other has been shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. I was talking to somebody earlier in the day, and I was saying because the person is going to the UK and all of that, I'm like, oh, my parents, they feel somehow like I'm going to be far away from home and all of that. And I'm like, is the UK is not that far. Under the right circumstances, if you were in Abuja and I was in Jos and you took off for the UK, you more likely arrive before I arrive Lokoja from Jos. Yes. If you took a straight flight from Abuja to Jos, and there are straight flights from Abuja to Jos, Abuja to London, to the UK, you will arrive the UK if both of you, your aircraft was taken off, and then that person's car from Abuja, another person's car was taken off from Jos. You will arrive, you will touch down London before the person from Jos will touch down Lokoja. So I said, it's not that far anymore. It's just, the distance is more psychological. Because with the right technology, you can bridge that gap in less than 6 hours. Are you there? Those missionaries I was talking to you about, they spent months on the high sea to cover that exact same distance. I'm talking to you about the possibilities even of fallen man. When God says subdue the earth, that's what I'm talking to you about. Are you there? Are you here? I want you to read my lips. This was God's instruction to his human creatures before they fall. There is a lazy attitude, there is a lazy orientation that is common and is bound up in the lives of many young people and a few older people, which is this feeling that the only reason I'm still working, the only reason I look forward to working is because I need money to get by. I came to disappoint you tonight. Even in the eschaton, you will work. When there will be no need for salary in order to eat food, when there will be no need to earn a wage in order to eat food, you will still work. What this means is that if our first parents never sinned, we will still walk. And when sin shall be no more, we will still walk. Jesus in the parable said, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Because you have been faithful in that which is little, more will be given unto you. And so, over 5, now you have command over 10 cities. This is on the other side of the divide. They are now going to make this person the ruler over 10 cities. He's going to become the administrator. Because some of you think that, hey, when Jesus finally comes, when I get to heaven, at the marriage supper, when the saints are gathered. That's not the song. But, when you get to heaven, because the song is correct. Farewell to sorrow, victory at last. Yes, that is correct. But you are not going to be singing that song floating in the air with harps and cymbals. We shall be singing forever. We shall be singing. We shall be singing. Some of you think that eternity is going to be one unending orchestra. No. Eternity is a civilization. Eternity is going to be the continuity of what was truncated in the garden. When man fell in the Garden of Eden, God drove him out of the garden. Not necessarily to keep him away from the garden, and not necessarily to keep the garden away from him. It was principally and primarily to keep the garden away for him.